Hi, everybody. Hope you guys are doing good.
Good afternoon.
How was your day, Master Jedi?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Doing good. Just busting, things through this morning so I'd be able to get on here with you guys. So that was a good feeling when I met that goal. So excited. Yeah. Those small victories that get you through the week.
Yeah. I live by the small victories.
Give everyone a few minutes and then we'll get started.
Make sure you folks are spamming the chat. Let's get some more people in here.
Well, it's 5 minutes after the hour, so we'll go ahead and get started. Master Jedi, I already had you guys spam and chat. So one of the things that we were talking about doing was incentivizing the AMAs also, doing like a quiz for you guys and then having you guys answer it based on stuff that happened in the AMA. And then out of those people that do that, then awarding them some, lovely lunar or something along those lines. I'll do a poll and then see what you guys feel about that. I think that's a great idea. That was Lunar Near's idea, so thank you, Near. I'll go ahead and start going over the progress report. So as far as us, we've been working behind the scenes as far as administrative stuff. I was waiting on some information to complete the budget, so that will be out for 100% by the end of the week. Let's see. New business. The supporting the Lunar Exchanges LIP has passed and is now in effect. We have transferred some money to some of the different places already. So that is, honestly, that's going to be great. And we are still in progress for the facility deal. It is moving forward and things like that as far as we're still talking and things. Let's see. We are working on our Lunar Volume Improvement Plan. Part of that was getting that LIP passed so we could have more flexibility with liquidity and able to get that working better for us as well. Let's see. The Binance Industry Recovery Fund application that was submitted, we haven't heard anything. I don't think anybody has heard anything as far as that goes, right, Master Jedi?
Look, I'm at this particular point, you would be hard pressed to convince me that the Binance Recovery Fund actually exists. I don't know if they can't do anything with it because they're under investigation or what, but they a couple weeks ago they saw BNB tanking and they converted the BNB to stablecoin and then moved it, and that's the last anybody heard about it. So who knows what's going on with that system? I wouldn't put any full faith and credit behind it ever actually coming to fruition at all. Then that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. Like you said, we'll just wait and see, and just if it happens, it happens, and if not, then we're not in any different place. So on the announcement last week, we had completed 63,480 in OTC transactions. We completed another one that will be included in that total for 35K. And as always, the buybacks are going to be done as the 4% per the instructions that the DAO had voted on. We're looking at different investment avenues. As we had said last week, we're still under multiple NDAs. We have different avenues that are contacting us, different things like that. So those are all in process. Let's see. Same thing for, we're just combating inaccurate information. So one of the things we'd like to ask you guys is if you have someone coming into the chat, asking questions, things like that, be friendly, be welcoming, use our commands if you know them. If not, you can always tag a moderator if you're not sure of answers to things, and they're amazing. All of our moderators are, fighting the good fight and, giving out the education and all that stuff. So we appreciate it. Let's see.
On that note, I want to bring up too, once, we've done a really good job as a community of combating FUD, of dealing with, the different issues that we've had on the different communities, and of, setting the record straight on a number of things. So, as we still have a ton of holders that don't know what's going on. So as people come in, as people see the current token price, I talked last week, especially in Telegram, did a rundown of the token price over time and how basically Lunar was started in 2011 at the peak of WBNB's price, and we've ridden it all the way down. So people are still going to have concerns as they come in. Let's try to make sure that as a community, we're not creating new fudders by treating them poorly when they come in, even if they have tough questions. We want to make sure that we're always, and look, I'm not perfect at this either, so I know it's hard. But as people are coming in and asking questions, let's make sure that we're taking the opportunity to understand where those people are coming from and answer their questions, even if they're coming in hot. So it's really important moving forward that we, get people excited about where we're going again, and not creating more angry people that will complain on public forums. So,
and we are working on getting more information out to you guys for the market maker for the blog posts, right, Master Jedi?
Yeah, that's
in process.
We're working on it in process. Some of the information was in the lip, and so I hope you folks were able to go in and really dig through that lip and read it, and then read some of the links we sent you to. We'll cover it again in this article, but the lip was a pretty solid introduction into how our markets work. And hopefully we'll have some more time to continue the education process on that front.
Absolutely. I think it's good, the more that we can figure that out as a community and have more information and why things are working the way they are, I think it's just going to be better overall. Thank you so much for getting that information together for everyone, Master Jedi. And, that's always above and beyond. And you're always about educating, and you don't see a lot of communities where like the tech person will come out and be like, hey, this is this, or go above and beyond like that. So we appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Listen, I think it's really important for everybody to understand how especially centralized markets work. I think the problem with centralization in this space is that it's a black box, and everything's dark, everything's obfuscated, everything is like different depending on who you work with. It's a mess. And so the more transparency that we can provide on how some of these things work, I think the better we can help move the market forward on bringing transparency, on bringing just leveling up everybody's education level. There's no such thing as a free listing. I don't care what you hear. I don't care what is said. I don't care if you think that, Flocky just got one, or Pepe just got a free listing, blah, blah, blah. No, they didn't. Everybody paid something. You just don't know what they paid. So we think that sucks, and we want people to know what's really going on. So we'll have more information about that to share as soon as we can.
That's awesome. We are still continuing to expand, our support on decentralized exchanges. Some of those are like application processes. Some of them we're in talks with the exchanges, looking at, basically negotiations. We won't announce any names until anything is 100% at this time, just because we don't want to, create false hype or anything like that. And we just want to be able to announce those results for you guys as we know it's 100%.
Deals aren't done till they're done and the ink is dry and everything's signed and transferred between hope and working on it, right?
Exactly.
You never know what's going to jump up in between to be like, oh.
And it's so hard. It's so hard because you get excited and you're like, oh my gosh, we're talking to this and it's reasonable, or, oh my gosh, we're making progress on this, but, the ink's not even, stuff isn't signed, but like, you're so excited about it and you're like, oh, I just want to tell them all this cool stuff that's happening. And it's, we're just doing our best to give you guys the information as soon as we have it and as soon as we can. And I know, reassurances, especially until you see the results, aren't as exciting, but I mean, there's stuff. So I'm personally excited. Let's see. Nothing's been done as far as we're still waiting to hear back from like Coin Market Cap and getting some of the verified users things done on CMC, and then CoinGecko for updating the circulating supply to get it to match CMC. So there's some things that is kind of out of our hands that we're working on and following up on. We just, we have to hurry up and wait on them. So that is still being checked on and everything as far as that goes.
Let me tell you, folks, it's super annoying when these companies don't stay consistent in their operation. Prime example, CoinGecko magically lost our MEXC market listing on our profile somehow. Just gone. Not even there. So I put that, and that's in the market section, and we keep these things on there visible so that you folks understand this is not a static situation. We've had situations where on BSC scan, all of a sudden our communities disappear. We've had on CoinGecko where our circulating supply is not the same, and we got to go in and make adjustments and fix this. So this is not like a one and done situation. Like, staying on top of the markets for you folks and staying on top of these sites, it's effort. It's effort that takes place every week. It's something that just personally I log into and check every single morning as one of the first things that I do. So it's they're there, and they continue to stay there for a reason. It's not because hey, we forgot to delete this off of the to-do list. It's because every day it's on the to-do list. So just an FYI.
It's like getting ready for the day. I get that. So it's just one of those things. I think everybody has their tasks that they try to accomplish every day. And it's just one of those things that sometimes we can get it done quickly and sometimes we're waiting on others. So let's see. We are, for new business as far as marketing, the War of the Whales winners were posted on the blog. There's a link in the announcements from last week in case you guys didn't get to check it out. Congrats to you guys. That was kind of a fun little note in there, and I don't know. I think you guys are awesome, and we appreciate you. We're working on our marketing plan as far as like the exchanges and stuff. We're working on getting ideas and that hashed out this month, and then we should have some more information for you guys soon. So I do want to take a minute
just to be slightly more specific on that for just a second. I'm personally past the idea stage in terms of how the exchanges want to market and put together proposals, and I'm finalizing our plan on what we're going to do. We will have that conversation internally with the foundation within the next day or so, and then we'll have information to share on what's actually going to happen once everything is finalized with each exchange. Again, with Lunar, we don't talk about things on the marketing front and things like that until the ink is dry. So we have conversations with every exchange. We know how much all of these marketing campaigns cost in terms of what kind of Lunar token allocation they want. And we're going to iron all that out with the exchanges. And as soon as we have the schedule for what's going to happen with those exchanges for the next several weeks, then we will definitely share it with all of you.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's quite involved. It's not just like hey, we want to market with you guys, let's do it. And so we just want to make sure that we're doing our due diligence for you guys, making sure you get, the best overall return on, your investment and stuff like that. So
and it's been a long time coming because it takes a lot of to bring new eyes into the project takes a lot of work and effort on the website, on the communities, on the token pages, and all of that stuff. And so, just from a timeline basis, marketing 3 months ago, as much as everybody would have liked to do it, didn't make a whole lot of sense. It would have just been a waste of Lunar at a time where having the treasury is important. So we're here now for a good reason, and excited about being able to finally get to the point where we can bring some new eyes on the project.
Exactly. And it's not just, it's not just bringing in random people from wherever. It's actually generating real interest and real conversations and things like that. So, we just want to make sure it's worth it for everyone.
Yep.
I do have a couple announcements as far as like the community side. Let's see, Miski, if you are able, if you want to go ahead and do your winner picks in the chat, I would appreciate it.
While he's doing that, I just want to shout out to all the new faces I'm seeing in the AMA today. Thanks for coming. Really appreciate all of you.
You guys are awesome. We appreciate it. I was noticing that too. I was like, hey, I'm pretty good at remembering usernames. I mean, especially for like our shillers and stuff, because I'm in there doing the rewards and stuff. But like, yeah, you guys are awesome. We're happy to have you here. If you guys have questions, we do a question section. So you can post them in the main chat or in our AMA question section. Just, let us know what you're thinking. Okay. So winners for Miski's draw are... Did you guys play the videos already? Okay, I'm going to butcher these names, so I apologize. But the winners are Awaski Han, maybe, and Kaji Solomon. Something, I believe. But congrats to you guys. I'm sure that was your highlight of the day, having me attempt to pronounce those. But yes, congrats on winning, and I hope that you guys enjoy your rewards. Let's see. What else as far as my side? I believe the winner for last month's, I'm not sure if it's been picked yet or not. I will look real quick. But the meme contest and things like that, I love going in there. If you guys haven't participated or if you haven't even like checked out like the little section in there, there's some in there that I literally bust out laughing in the middle of other meetings. They're like, what are you laughing at? Or I'll do it randomly in front of my kids and they're like, Mom, you're so crazy. I'm like, I know, that's how I get through the day. But I would recommend, if you are having a day or you need a smile, then go down and check out the memes channel. So for the monthly winner, it should be being voted on this week. So, anything else as far as my side? I think that pretty much covers us, Master Jedi. Let's see.
Awesome. So I'll go through the dev stuff if we're done.
Yep.
Awesome. So, new business as of last week. We've been continuing to work through our ERC 721 update process. And I know Jack just asked a question on the issues we've been having, so I'll kind of go into that a little bit. So as we've been doing these contract updates, and we've done, if I'm not mistaken, 19 contract updates over the last 6 months between, closer to the last year, between the LNR contract and the Lunar Genesis crystals on BSC scan, or on the BNB chain. So we've done a lot of updates, haven't seen any issues. And then suddenly we started seeing issues on both contracts. And so both of these things are super important to us and are super important to the Lunar ecosystem. So it's not just a matter of like finding a bug and fixing it like it is in the code when you're testing. There's a difference between, hey, the contract doesn't work, and, oh, the contract is corrupted. If you corrupt the data on the contract, you are infinitely and forever screwed. And so it becomes very important to fully and 100% understand what happened, why it happened, and how to make sure it doesn't happen again. So the LNR contract was relatively easy to understand the challenge. And I believe either on the last AMA or the one before, we talked about how if you think about memory in a contract as like mailbox slots, for some of you that remember, like in elementary schools, like the image that pops in my head is like the mailboxes for all the teachers when they go and drop stuff in. I was one of those kids that had to go in and like sort the mail every day. And so like if you change a teacher's spot, or if you add something or move somebody down and you don't change the labels, then somebody's going to be getting the wrong mail. And that's pretty much what happened on the LNR contract. It was relatively straightforward to fix. The fix wasn't ideal, but we fixed it, and we know how to work around it. And we have a version of the contract that if we ever deploy a different token on a different, or like the same token on Ethereum as an example, then it's not going to have this workaround. It's going to be a clean contract. When we went to ERC 721, entirely different set of circumstances happened. It wasn't just that if you call and ask for, hey, what's the tax, you're getting the wrong information. It was zeroing out the information on the contract. And so had we just proceeded without our testing structure and without the environments that we have, without the unit tests in place and all of the things that we've had to spend time setting up, and we'd just done what frankly most teams do and just gone out and deployed it, all the NFTs would be gone. Nobody would know what the NFTs are. We'd have to go back to old records and try to recreate the transactions. It'd be a nightmare. So our process caught this early, which is exactly why the process exists. And so we, in breaking down why it happened, it turned out that the suggestions that our auditor made on handling things like reentrancy, and you can look up what that means. It's too much to go into right now. But some of the changes that our auditor suggested broke the contract. And so we had to go back in and understand, why is this breaking? What happened? Which of the changes that we made are actually breaking it? So we had to go through one at a time and test 10 different updates that we made to the system and figure out which ones were corrupting the contract. And of the 10, there were 3 different vectors that caused the corruption. And so digging through and understanding like how to work around those and how to fix it, we've successfully worked around all of those issues now. And so we have a contract that we know works. The last part before we move forward with it is understanding exactly why it happened and documenting exactly why it happened, so that as we hire new devs and we bring on more people, that we're educating them on how not to let this happen again. I'm going to give you a second to process all of that, because that's a lot of information, and talk about why this is important and why people would be like, why the hell are you guys stopped here and focused on that? You should be working on Lunar Mint for creators. Well, we are. This contract is the core contract for Lunar Mint, and we're using the same contract for, and Lunar Mint is designed for us to eat our own dog food. If you're familiar with the concept of dog fooding, it is in software, you are using your own product. And so we use our own product first. Everything about Lunar Mint is based on these contracts that we've made. To zero out a contract would be bad enough for our own tokens and our own ecosystem. But can you imagine having 30 plus creators with millions of dollars in token sales and having all of their data suddenly vanish? Like, that's an effing catastrophe. And so when I say that these things are important, like, I'm not joking. It's not whatever. It's an excuse. Like, this is the core of what we're doing. And the work that we're doing is to make sure that we don't end up some article on CoinDesk on how we accidentally screwed people out of millions of dollars. Okay. That is like business killing. So we're putting in the time and effort to make sure that we do this right. And to Jack's joke in the AMA stage, other projects solve this problem by just copying other people's contracts. And you're just like, oh, hey, this contract works. I'm going to use that instead. When you do that, you're taking on other people's mistakes that you don't know where they're coming from. And it's actually more easy to have this problem happen when you don't own the code. So we own the code. We own this process, and we make sure that we own every aspect of it. So just to be clear, once again, because that's a lot of techno babble or whatever, like this process is 100% focused on Lunar Mint for creators and making sure that when one of our creators comes on and wants to use our contract, that we are as certain as humanly possible that that they can build a business on what we've built. And that's a responsibility that I take incredibly seriously. In my other life, dealing with other startups and other software that I've built mission critical software before. I've built software that runs governments. And so we know what that means. And we know what it means to have 100% uptime and to not screw stuff up. So, and Miski pointed out the level of detail and the attention to detail that you can expect comes from, most of you will recall how great the Lunar Crystal NFT purchasing experience was when we finally ironed out the Wallet Connect and all of those other issues. So those things taught us to be much more cautious about this ecosystem now. And so we have to dot our I's and cross our T's and make sure that everything's squared away. So we're in the middle of that process now. We have a contract that works. Now we're documenting why it failed to make sure that we never let it happen again. And that anybody else we bring on fully understands why these things can happen. At its core, it's just another example of why Solidity sucks, why current blockchains suck, and why different solutions are needed. So we're constantly thinking about how Lunar will improve that ecosystem moving forward. While the contracts are being worked on, the rest of the team is focused on other parts of Lunar Mint for creators. In the update this week, you'll see that we have finished our theming migration. We're working through the feature set to be able to hit our 4 goals. The 4 goals are listed. They're very clear and straightforward on what we're trying to accomplish. And we will not be going into more detail on what each of those goals entails at this time, but we're always attempting to be as transparent as possible on what we're working on in that regard. And as is mentioned at the very top of the progress reports, the set of work that we're involved with is pretty massive. And so, you may not see purple check boxes changing to green as frequently as you would like, but understand that behind the scenes, we have our checklists, we have our processes, we're working through them. And as we can report results, we are. So just because it's been quiet doesn't mean we're not doing anything. It's actually about the furthest from the truth possible. We are incredibly busy right now working on a lot of things that when we are able to talk about them, you won't hear us shut up. So appreciate everybody's patience while we're working through this cycle. Moving on, we have a question from Double A in the AMA stage, and they ask, will AI hurt, help, or be null for the world of crypto? It's a great question. AI is something that I'm thinking about constantly. Here is the core thing to think about right now. AI sucks at math. AI has no concept of what math is right now. And if you go in on any of these ChatGPT-3 or GPT-4, or, there's some like coding add-ins to GPT that help you understand how to write code. It's pretty easy to confuse the shit out of these things and make them say things like 1 is greater than 4. And so at its core, until those types of issues are solved and AI understands math, It's frankly irrelevant for crypto right now. Now, having said that, once AI understands math, it's going to be really interesting. We see a lot of opportunity for AI in the financial space about helping people make better decisions, well beyond like high frequency trading algorithms and things like that. It's going to be a challenge, as an example, to be able to walk through and understand, to see and to not have people get so excited about AI that they do things that accidentally like make something worse before that makes it better. It's really cool to see AI kick out marketing copy and stuff like that until you go back in and really read it and you watch the AI like repeat itself. You watch it go through and say things that are truthy but are not the truth, because AI doesn't actually understand those concepts yet. So it's cool to see outputs, but we actually have a long way to go before those outputs are going to be more meaningful. But it is coming. I would love to see a day where you can, inside the Lunar platform, go in, have an AI analyze your crypto portfolio and put out strategies for how to interact with it and how to get deals done. Those things are really interesting to me and something we'll constantly be looking at. So I think ultimately it will help to just to come to a point on that question. It will ultimately help. Before then, it may hurt. And until it's, as say Cristobal saying, AI is a frenetic liar far too often. So until it's, we have to understand and remember that AI right now is trained on text and it's trained on things humans say, and humans are wrong all the time about everything. And so until it's able to dig through and like understand the difference between facts and opinions, which honestly humans can't even do very well. So expecting an artificial intelligence to do something that humans can't even figure out is a tall order. But we're going to get to a point where AI understands fundamentals of science and math and the truth about the acquisition of knowledge. And when those things happens, it will be a chaotic good. But until then, people that aren't able to recognize its limitations will probably try to have it do things that it's not fully capable of yet, and you'll run into problems. So that's my soapbox on that. Do we have any other questions from the AMA channels? Let's see here. Near asked today while I was talking about AI or a little bit ago, how can we integrate AI into the minting platform? Do we plan to use AI? I would say yes, we plan to use AI. I don't think the minting platform is going to help. Where I think AI will be interesting is going to be in things like helping you understand, helping you make a decision on which centralized exchange to list on next, helping you understand what is your liquidity pool balance health looking like across other projects. What are the right strategies for launching your token? I see lots of possibility in digging through connecting community and tweets and all of these to help understand, like if you want to create a utility token, how are you going to go about doing that? If you want to create an NFT, how are we going to use AI to help you build generative NFTs that are really cool? Midjourney is doing a lot of really amazing stuff, and I see a lot of opportunity in building NFTs based on some of the stuff that it kicks out. So always thinking about stuff like that. I'm 100% about the right tool for the job, and as AI is getting really good at things, we'll be looking at integrating it wherever possible. There is another question in the AMA question section about getting rid of the chart in Telegram and instead having a /price or /chart. So there have been a few people complaining about the frequency with which the coin market cap price bot posts. It's an interesting challenge overall because like it's great when the token's going up, it's depressing when the token's going down. I and a number of other people use it quite frequently to be able to understand what's going on in the market right now. 90+% of our token movement comes from the movement of WBNB. And so seeing the price chart helps understand, hey, what's going on right now? Is something happening in the market? And so forth. Unfortunately, your options on the coin market cap price chart bot are report every hour or never. And there's not really a happy medium. I think it needs to be reporting every like 3 to 4 hours would be ideal for me. But it is what it is. So don't have any plans on taking it out right now. If we just made it at /price or /chart, people would be pulling it up all the time. I think it's doing its job. So we're always evaluating other bots, and there are some new bots that have come online that might be able to make that process a little bit easier or more configurable. So as we come across bots that can do that, we will let you folks know. But as of right now, this is the best one we've determined is out there. And I see that Sandy is typing in the AMA questions, so we'll wait for Sandy's answer to come up. In the meantime, are there any hands raised in the audience? Anybody here with us have any questions? So Cristobal made a comment in the chat about seeing LNR's price versus like things like Pepe and stuff like that. Let me give you an example on why I think AI is going to be interesting and the importance of picking the right platform for your token. We are paired with WBNB on the primary exchange that sets the price. When WBNB is going up and while the original team was making the decision to do that, it was the right decision to make. We unfortunately launched LNR at the top. It's literally like the second highest peak of WBNB's price, and we've been riding it down ever since. And so that has an effect on the token. It limits our ability to make changes to that pairing because we've already ridden it down. And in order to make the right financial decision in that process, we have to ride it back up a little bit in order to make that happen. And Binance isn't helping that situation too much. When you see tokens like Pepe and how they've grown like crazy on meme coins, a lot of those meme coins are happening on Ethereum right now. BNB is not the place to have a meme coin. It's personally a little disturbing that, to me, that a alt-right symbol is becoming a meme coin and is shooting up. It's like, it's disappointing, right? It's disappointing to watch our token and see that, you know, most of the time factors outside our control are affecting the perceived value of what we're building. The good news is, we're building a lot of great stuff, and we've been working very hard to set ourselves up to change perceptions. But in this market, if I had started a token 4 months ago, I probably would have launched it on Ethereum. That's just me. I had no control over how Lunar was launched or any of that stuff before. Hopefully Binance will be doing things to make their chain more productive. And marketing there. As we move forward, we will be evaluating what we're paired on and making sure we're always paired in the right places with what we should be paired with. And so those are just some of the challenges that we're dealing with. And it's not as simple as, hey, we're a startup building software. Like there's other components in this space that have an impact. So totally understand it's difficult to see Pepe taking off while others aren't. I've been looking at a lot of tokens these days, and our tokens performance is not dramatically different than a lot of the other projects that are building for the long term that I'm seeing right now, especially ones on BNB chain. That's just what's happening right now when you pick the token you pair with. Ethereum's going up, and it has been going up for a little while now. So any token that's based on it is going to be reaping the benefits. Do we have faith in BNB chain moving forward? I think it's a great chain. I think we made the right choice in picking that chain because it had low gas fees. It was the chain for small cap tokens. Versus it's $10 to run any transaction on Ethereum. So if you're trying to buy like, $1.75 worth of LNR and then to have a $10 gas fee, like that's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. So it was the right choice at the time. The right path forward is to have the token be multi-chain. That's still on the agenda. That's still part of our vision, and we're working to make that happen as quickly as possible. So does it make sense to put all our eggs in one basket? Absolutely not. And so we are thinking through and working through how do we make LNR multi-chain. That hasn't changed, and that is not going to change. Our ecosystem will be multi-chain as soon as humanly possible. To ask Jack, to Jack's question about can we remove the last chart before adding the new one? I don't think the bot allows us to do that right now. I don't know that there's another bot that can do that for us. Usually bots that post like our message every 4 hours about your safety, like the bot's built in to delete the last one and then add a new one. I don't know that we can do that here. I said, I don't know about you guys. I find a lot of value in scrolling through and seeing what's happened as the market's moved. But understanding that everybody has an expectation of what the Telegram should do, we will look at ways to improve that. Miski just pointed out there's another random drawing incoming. Is that a video we're doing in the main chat again? Yes, it is. So take it away, Miski. Silver's going to announce it. I think I've talked long enough, so let's bring Silver back.
You got to get the the break in between. Yeah, Miski had a wonderful idea, so I was letting him take the lead of just doing a random drawing for everyone that is in the AMA right now. So little reward for you guys. Okay, it looks like the winner is Elpay. So congrats. Thank you so much for attending. Like I said, we wanted to have, thank you guys for coming and, sitting here and listening and asking questions and all of that good stuff. So that was just a nice little surprise for you. But that's it as far as that goes. Anything else, Master Jedi?
I think last question in the AMA questions is LNR. What happened? LNR is down every day. Please do me a favor, Sandy, go back into Telegram and walk through. I have several pinned messages in there. I don't know why Coin Market Cap is pinned here. We'll unpin that. But if you go back through the pinned message list, I have 3 different posts analyzing the token performance over the last year and how our base pair has affected that performance. So please go back, check those out. Remember, everybody, that again, when you're doing your research on Lunar as a token, the base pair matters. The performance of the token through this bear market phase is not indicative of the progress of the project. So please keep those things in mind as you're looking at the token charts. And on a higher note, I couldn't be more excited about what's coming down the pipe. We're working on some truly exciting things that I know you folks will be happy with. Everything always takes longer than we want it to be. It's why we don't talk about dates. So it's going to be a great month. Very shortly, we'll have some announcements on marketing on the centralized exchanges. Should be exciting time to bring new people in. So can't wait to have you all see what we're doing there, and hopefully we'll have some more awesome progress to share at the next AMA. So keep up the great work, everybody. Appreciate all the shillers. Appreciate everybody that's spreading the good word. Everybody that is holding through an insane time in crypto, and can't wait to show you what we're building next.
Yes, it's awesome. Oh, I do have one teaser. So Constellation Collision is coming. So you're welcome. Enjoy that little teaser, and we will see you guys in a couple weeks. So have a great day. Thanks, Jedi.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
See you soon. Let's LFG, man. LFG, let's go.
LFG. We need her. We need to get her.
I know we need to get her in here every day.
All right. Thanks, guys. You have a good one.
Take it easy.